Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wuthering Waves. In today's video, we're going to be going through my top 5 tips for echo farming. This becomes a very big part of the game when you're trying to get your echoes or your quote-unquote gear sorted on your characters. Now, before we go into my tips, I wanted to mention 2 quick things. First of all, getting to stage 15 of the databank, which is when you can start getting the gold echoes. I had a lot of people ask me about how to get to stage 15 because they had maxed out on their purples and they were still short. The one I recommend to everyone to go ahead and get is if you go to the map and you go up here to above the heron battle, the impermanence heron, and you go, I think you teleport to this one's the quickest way, and you walk all the way to the peak of this hill. There will be a stone golem with a red aura there. He is an elite enemy and he always drops a gold echo. So if you go out there and beat him, that is how you will get it. Besides that, you want to fill up on your purples as well, and that will get you to the point of reaching 15 for anyone that is stuck on that, because that was a big question I saw in my last video. Also, another one that I did see in my last video when I spoke about the data bank, and I was recommending getting to like stage 17 or 18 before using the merge function. A lot of people did mention to me, which is a great point, that doing it over here on stage 13 or 14 really helped them to get to that stage 15 of the data bank by completing their purples so that they could get it done quicker. For me, I was grinding and playing the game a lot, but for those that don't play it as much, maybe doing the merging on these earlier stages. Definitely don't do it on 12. Wait till you get to 13 so you have the higher drop rate of them on the merging. If you want to know more about merging, just check out my previous video about echoes, but yeah, doing it on 13 or 14 to get yourself to 15 is definitely a viable option. Just keep in mind, once you're only looking for like 2 or 3 echoes, it's probably better to just go target them in the world. But I just wanted to cover those 2 things off quickly before I get into the key parts of this video, which were my top 5 tips. Now, the first one has to do with getting around the place, because we are going to have to farm an absolute ton of echoes. You want to be able to traverse the lands pretty well. Now, if we go over here and we check out my characters and we look over here at my Jian Jin, you can see I normally run her on the healer set. She's like the healer in my team. You can play her as any role, but you see I have the Inferno Rider equipped to her. The reason I do that is for when I'm exploring echoes. If I'm doing something else, I will swap that out, but basically this allows me to explore the world a lot faster. I can go to her and I hold that echo button. Make sure you hold it and you don't just tap it, and you can see you can cover a lot of ground like this, and it allows you to close the gap between different echoes you're farming. The other one that I have is the one that I have already on Mortefi anyway, which is super helpful as well, and that is the Impermanence Heron. So if I just go ahead and I hold this, you can see we can then steer the Impermanence Heron and we can get around places, and it's really handy also for getting you extra height for closing gaps and stuff like that. It's just great for general exploring anyway, but especially when you are trying to farm those echoes and you're going from group to group to group, trying to get as many as you can. It is a great feature to use these echoes to help you close that gap, and because their cooldowns aren't that long, you can see we can get straight back to them pretty quick. And like I said, this guy using it from up high is really handy because you can go ahead and do that. But the cooldowns are amazing, and once again, the gap closing capabilities, especially on the Inferno Rider, are absolutely insane and fantastic for doing it. And because you will be spending so much time grinding these echoes, going from mob to mob to mob, it does really help out. So number 2, the next one I want to go to is how to actually farm your echoes. Now, I haven't seen anywhere online with a good map of areas to farm for your echoes, which I'm sure there will be eventually, and if there is one at any stage, I will add it to the pinned comment of this video. But the way I do it is, normally you're going to be looking at something you want to farm. For instance, I'm going to start looking at building my Havoc Rover. So I want to get that Havoc set equipped. So for the Havoc set, the one you're most likely going to want to farm are going to be the 3 cost echoes. And for Havoc, the 3 cost echoes are the Wolf, and then we've got the big plant, and then we've got this guy over here. They are our 3 cost echoes that we're going to want to farm. The reason you're going to want to farm them is because you want the Havoc set with the Havoc damage bonus. Normally, sometimes you want energy regen, but mainly you're going to want Havoc set, Havoc damage bonus, and that is really hard to land on, so you're going to have to farm a bunch of these guys. And I know most people won't be farming everything in the world every day, so you're probably going to pick and choose what you want. So for me, if I was thinking to myself, okay, I am going to farm these and try and get my Havoc damage bonus on the Havoc set, I would just click on this guy, you go detect. It will show you the closest one to your location, and then I can fast travel to here, and then once I kill that one, it will auto show me the next one on the map. So it's a really nice way to speed up your progression, and you can see it on my mini map. It's over in this direction. So once again, we can go over here. I do normally have the You can always just swap over this for some extra maneuverability as well. But once again, we can just go over here and we can get on our rider. We can get right over here. Is this him over here? That's not him. Rip. And I went to the wrong one. So he is going to be up here. Let's get away from these enemies. Let's go for the man we're looking for. And there he is up here. So then we can just swap to our DPS. And you can see, like, once you got a little bit of gear or echoes, you can pretty much tap anything. And that's why you don't need to worry about the traversal echoes you have. So there we go. We've got him down. And then it just auto puts on my mini map the next one. You can also open up your big map to see if it's too far away. And then we can go to him, which is the next one. And you can see he is over here as well. So we can just jump over here. We can go in and hit him. We can pop an echo. And we easy clap just about anything that we want to kill. And so our efficiency of actually killing echoes becomes really fast. So then there's another one here. It does get a bit awkward in these building type areas unless you've done it a few times to get used to where exactly they are positioned. But this guy is around here, I'm assuming. So there he is. And we can just go ahead. And we can go ahead and tap. So like I said, I really love this feature. It's maybe not the most efficient if you're going to farm everything in the world, but if you're farming for something specific, it is absolutely fantastic for getting through it. And once again, combining the things that we talked about over here, I probably should have checked my map. This guy actually looks like he's a fair way away. So once again, we can hit our map. Go, oh shit, he is all the way over there. So make sure you check that map. Then we can portal over and we can get into that. It would be awesome if they could add a feature, which I would absolutely love, which would include everything that you're looking for from that. So if I'm like farming for the 3 costers of the Havoc set, it would put any one of those that is the nearest on the map. Like if it was him and then the next nearest one was a wolf, it would give me that. But anyway, that is the basic way that I go about farming it. Most people are going to farm one set at a time because you don't have the time to farm the entire map every day. And I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. Once again, if I see a good map where people show you paths to do it, I will update you guys, but I haven't seen anyone create one and I haven't created one myself yet. Moving on from that, the next one I can't demonstrate right now because none of my friends are online, but that is farming in co-op. You go over here into the top left and you can see here, you can click the friends filter to only play with your friends, and you can go to joinable for the ones that have joined now, and you can actually just join in someone's group. Like you can just join, and if they allow you in, you can go into those worlds. But I like doing it with friends because then you can jump on Discord, have a call, and you can go around and you can kill them. If you are joining their world, you get their echoes. If they're joining your world, they get your echoes, meaning if you've already killed them, they won't be there for you guys. So just keep that in mind. If you are going to do this, make sure you tee up with a friend to say, leave these echoes, they're the ones I need to farm, and then you can go farm them. It's honestly absolutely fantastic, and especially for farming the boss echoes, it can be really nice, especially if you're under geared and just getting up to it, to have 2 of you tapping these guys. Because once you've got a decent roster of echoes and your main DPS is kind of jacked, you're pretty safe to go ahead and tap these echoes pretty quick. But until you get to that point, they do become quite difficult to kill, so do keep that in mind as well. Now, the next one is one that is really quite helpful if you're doing targeted farming. Like if you're farming one set and there's like a key area you want to get to that's not near a teleport location, or for me, I have been farming the turtle. So I put myself a waypoint over here, fast travel, so that I can teleport to the turtle. It is so handy for doing these farming, especially if you're doing bosses on loop. Unfortunately, I put it into a spot that instant engages him, so I'm going to try and get away from that. But yeah, putting a custom teleporter is going to be fantastic. Now, I'll show you how to get these teleporters as well. They are one of these items that you can use here. You can see here, this is my teleporter here, and I can put up to 5 of them around. But if you want to know how to unlock that, it's to do with your exploration. So you have to explore the different areas a ton, and then you come over to here, and this is where you unlock this. Now, it is to do with your exploration progress. I can't remember exactly what level of exploration it does unlock, but it is through here, and you come into this one, and as you do more exploration, you can see you can claim these rewards, and you will unlock different levels. I'm into the stage now where I pretty much just get currency rewards, but in the early stages, you will be getting things like the teleporter point, which are very helpful indeed. And the final thing I want to touch on has to do with what you actually want to farm first and what you want to upgrade and not upgrade. Now, this is going to be specific to the person, how patient you are and stuff like that. But in general, I recommend upgrading your main damage, your main carry for your farming first. You want to get there, basically write main stats as your first option. For me, it's Gian. So I wanted to get a monkey with crit rate. I wanted to get some arrow damage on these boys. Honestly, he works a little bit better with energy regen for now until I get the energy regen substats. So I would actually change one of these to energy regen just to make him feel more comfortable in the farming process. But I don't have a gold one yet. And then obviously attack and attack. And that's basically what you're going to do. Your main damage deal, you're going to go for the damage type that they deal. You're normally going to go for like a crit rate, damage percent on their element damage, and then attack and attack, and you're pretty much set to go. There may be exceptions. Like I said, I do like a little bit of energy regen until I can eventually get that on my substats. As for what to upgrade and what not to upgrade, this is going to be dependent on you. For damage dealers in general, the main 4 that you are looking for are going to be attack percent, crit rate, crit damage, and energy regen. Not necessarily in that order. They're just the 4, what I consider the big 4. They offer the biggest damage boost. Now, if you have a character that, like for instance, Gian, who deals most of his damage through heavy attack, that will be another good sub option. Same with like flat attack or something like that. But the big 4 are once again crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, and energy regen, because your damage deals will need to get a bunch of them. So what I do is I do one roll, unlock the substat. This one, as you can see, it was crit rate. It got a crit damage. I was like, sweet. I did another one, got basic damage. I was like, let's do one more and see. I got flat attack. It's not crazy. That is where I am stopping this one. This one over here, you can see I got the heavy attack damage bonus, which isn't optimal, but it is really good for him. Then I got attack percent and crit rate. I got 2 of the big 4 that I am looking for, and I got a low one. So I was like, I'm 100% rolling that one more to see how we go. Eventually, I may upgrade this one again, but in general, that's a pretty decent one. If we look at this one, I rolled twice, got 2 really average ones for him. That is where I stop it. This one I rolled once, got attack percent, rolled HP. The one cost ones are really easy to get. So as soon as I get one bad substat in my first 2 or 3, I'm pretty much scrapping it. This one I rolled 1. I got resonant skill damage. Not too interested in it. Not going to go any further, but I still upgraded it to level 10 for the main stat benefit. And you could do that. You could upgrade these ones to like level 15, like all of them to at least level 15, just for the main stat and not unlock the substats if you don't like them. But I found my Gian clap stuff pretty easy with this, and now I can get a bit more fussy on what I want to go for. But once again, you want to focus on getting those correct main stats on your main DPS first. You can upgrade them. You don't have to unlock the substats. Just note that with the substats, if we go over here to the tuning, it costs you 10 of the currency to tune to unlock one substat. If I then feed this character on, each substat that I had unlocked into it, when I feed it onto another one, will actually refund me 3 of these. So it's a 30% refund on the cost that you do, which I think is quite reasonable for this type of thing in a game. But once again, I do try to use these a bit more sparingly in general, because I find that I am pretty comfortable at the moment. And then I'm going to try and get more pieces that look something more like this one, where I've got some more ideal stats on them before I go for full investment. But in general, I do like leaving it around 20, because the experience cost to go to 25 is very expensive for this early stage of the game. So 20 is kind of my cap, and that is pretty much my summary on what I would upgrade and what I wouldn't upgrade. In general, I like to get a lot more fussy. If we look at the game at the moment, another good thing to consider is when you get to this stage, whenever you're starting playing the game, is you can go ahead and you can take a look at the Tower of Adversity. You can see here we got 13 days left on the Tower of Adversity. So I've still only done the 3 that I did for the initial mission. I'm not too stressed on pushing this. I'm going to take my time farming up my echoes, because I don't really need to push this yet. I've got 13 days. So that's why I am being very picky. Maybe if you're someone and you started the game and you got like 3 days left and you want to push as far as you can, maybe you roll a bit more into some other echoes. But at the end of the day, I think playing it a bit stingy, especially as free to play, and going for those optimal pieces is a bit the way. The cool thing is, like I said, you can upgrade those main stats and not have to unlock the substats, which is a good way just to get yourself a little bit of an early boost without having to strike gold with the RNG. So that is going to be it for my tips for echo farming. Let me know what other videos, tips, guides you guys want to see. I am going to start working on some character guides as well. But as always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.